I didn't come easily into being a woman, even feeling that it was a mistake as a child. And how does that all work? And I think with the opportunity to become a mother, my heart opened and I realized I was here for something much bigger. And my body was beautifully formed for it. And so I was able to embrace it, not only once, but 3 times. And that really opened me to understanding, not only through Rudolf Steiner, what the big picture is, but also as a woman, what it means to be creative. I'm an artist, so I've been creative in that way, but to be able to have a child or have children, and it was a struggle for me at first. And I actually had an experience with my second son. He was hanging on me and I'm trying to do my painting. And I heard a voice say, if you don't give them a good childhood, no one will. And I realized at that point what my task was, and so was able to embrace it with love. And the door opened, and I understood children in a totally different way, and I understood myself in a different way. And so out of that, I was led into motherhood and into the feminine mysteries and experiencing them. And he's always been very supportive of that on many levels, that I was able to follow that path. I think that support makes a difference, you know, that we don't have to do it alone. And in a certain way, having 3 boys, I couldn't do it alone. I didn't want to do it alone. They needed a father. And so it's been an amazing journey. And then I became, if you had told me years ago I would be a kindergarten teacher, there was no way. And yet I found there I was able to flower and help so many women and mothers find their way into the gift of being a mother. And I think for modern women, I mean, for me it wasn't easy. For young women it's not easy. You know, we're given freedom in a certain way with birth control that we are not manifesting all the time. And so then sometimes I think we can, we reject everything. And the world needs us and the children need us. And I really saw in my work of 25 years as a kindergarten teacher that women who could give that, the children who received that from their mothers could rest in that. And the ones who couldn't. And there's always the seeking then. So it's been, and now I have 5 granddaughters and 1 grandson. So I have this other opportunity to watch that come in. And also for me as a grandmother to watch them I've been at their birth, and to watch who is coming in already has been such a blessing. And they're getting older, they're approaching adolescence, and to allow that fall into matter, into the world. And I think the task of mothers is to carry the light of the children for them. And now they grow, and my sons are, and then we have to if we do it right, they leave us. We give them to the world, and then that's another aspect of being a mother. That's the sacrifice, and then to see them take the world to a better place. It's beautiful. I feel very blessed in my journey. I think we have to see each other as sisters and brothers. That's the picture. And it's hard. I think when women are younger, it's like, keep my man, or keep my independence, or and to be able to embrace the bond of love between us, and not to fall into that, to allow it to become really our gift. And it's almost a silent gift, because I think the feminine mysteries, I mean, I'm grateful for Dennis for being able to articulate them and see them, but I think we have to really see each other as sisters, and together and you know, Rudolf Steiner gives the picture about this dying of the planet, and I was very much a part of that, for the sorrow and the, oh, we are the bad ones, and we, you know, we shouldn't even be here. And then to really see both through mothering and you know, young children kept coming. Bring it to me, you know, kindergarten. They're always happy to be there. Well, most of them are happy to be there. And so I think we also have to carry the light of the Mother Earth, you know, and love her. And then in the dying and the becoming, you know, it's all part of the same process. And we are we're flame carriers, but it's not our flame. It's the flame of love. That I think as mothers, from my experience, my heart just opened and I was filled. Love just flowed through me. It was completely. I love children because they have not lost the wonder. And so then my task was, you know, how can I support that in them so that when they go, and I see with my sons, they have incredible resilience, and they've told me it's because of what we gave them. And so I think for women to take that on all levels, not just with children, but with everything we do, you know, that to bring that love. And I think as women, in a certain way, we are gifted with that love. If we don't, but I have daughter-in-laws who are seeking, and then to see them begin to find that in themselves, and the sisterhood between them, I see it growing, and not to, I mean, I have boys, you know, my son said to me, yeah, well, we're the white men, but they're not. I mean, they're not Donald Trump, they're so beautiful, and honoring the feminine in them and the masculine in them. And so I feel that we cannot even buy into that whole picture of, you know, you're bad because you're white, or you're good because, you know, but we're being really challenged now. There's no doubt the divisiveness that's happening. And it's going to be overcome by love. It's not going to be overcome by fighting. And sometimes things get lost in that, but we have to keep loving. Yeah, I felt very strongly when I was a young woman that I was fiercely independent, and the whole certain kind of, not certain kind, resistance. It took him a very long time to convince me that I should be with him. And I feel like your generation, I see that in my daughter-in-laws, you know, we were like, and then I think they're picking up the feminine. They're like, what is it? What is that mystery? But the anger and the blaming, I don't think blaming helps anything. Whether you're blaming the government or big pharma, that doesn't go anywhere. I know my father was a research chemist. He was not doing it because he wanted to damage the earth or people. I mean, he wanted to help. We would say now his methods were barbaric or, you know, commercial or whatever, but that was not his impulse. So I think we have to be very careful not to demonize people, individuals, in the face of the forces that are coming to break us apart. It isn't the individual. You know, they are just being filled with, they're not, I don't think they're protected enough not to embody that. But I don't think that we should, and I see that now with my daughter-in-laws becoming mothers. It's like, and you know, I've been to the gathering of the women now. I went to a ceremony in Northern California, 400 women, all ages, celebrating womanhood. And the beautiful part I really saw was they were teaching the young women about being a woman, which I never had. It was always shame. And I see my daughter-in-laws, my granddaughters able to embrace that in a different way. So I think we have to embrace the feminine mysteries and deeply find what is it from the old, but also from the new, so that we can free them to speak as individuals and women. Children are one with nature. They are living in the mother, and that's the beauty of it. They are, and one of my experiences was, it doesn't rain often in California in summer. These children, 4 or 5 years old, and we're walking on our walk, and the little boy stops. There's a puddle before him, and he said, "Look, the world is upside down." I mean, he was seeing. They see. They are open to the divine working through them all the time. And then at 9, they fall into matter, which needs to happen so that we can then lift it up. And so I think having them, you know, I see with my sons, they're out in nature all the time. They don't all garden, but they take their children out all the time. And so they're unafraid of it. And I think that's a beautiful gift that we can give them. I've seen there's a big movement towards forest kindergartens, and I'm going to be a little heretical here. And, you know, we'll just take them in nature and that's fine. And I don't think that's actually the answer. I think they need us. They need to be also in the world and learn how to be inside and how to be polite. And I've seen some of the children almost become feral. And especially in California when you're outside all the time anyway. So I really feel that they're the seeds, you know, and if we can allow them in the garden, in our kindergarten, we had a tasting bed. So they just go and, you know, sorrel and, oh, fennel, and, you know, so it's the experience. And, you know, with our own children, we, of course, they go out and be in the garden all the time. And we have bees and we harvest the honey. And so I think, you know, as much as we can immerse them in that, that's good. But we don't have to be afraid to also lead them. That's the beauty of Waldorf education, the beauty and the wisdom that they experience. You know, what is it to be Greek? What is it to be Egyptian? What is it to be modern, you know, the revolutionaries? And it was funny, my youngest son, who's very, very bright, when he went to college, so in Waldorf education you experience it, the Greeks first as a Greek, you know, you're in 5th grade, I am Pythagoras, and then he studied it again in high school, and when he went to college he was studying, he says, "Mom, I think I'm finally getting it." And I thought, wow, you know, that he actually already had this other foundation. So I think the more foundation we can give them in also the beauty, not only of nature, but of the human being. You know, and I think Waldorf education does that beautifully. It's a brilliant, brilliant curriculum all the way through. And I've been blessed that my children were able to go through that. And I see in them a kind of wisdom that lives in them. And then they can bring that to the world. So it's nature and the human, it's both together. And I think that's what biodynamics is, that we lift, you know, the beauty that's given, but it's up to us, like Dennis has been saying, to bring our gifts so that it is lifted into the spiritual. And that actually is what has always drawn me to anthroposophy. It's not just spirit, but it's bringing the spirit into matter. It's so practical. You know, how can we bring up the earth? How can we bring up the children in a way that the divine has been recognized? And even in the school, it was interesting. We used to sit with the seniors. What is it about Waldorf that really nourished you? Well, I really like the teachers who were really Waldorf. They don't know what that meant, but I think what it meant is that the teachers recognized the divine in them. And once they experience that, it's such nourishment for all of us. Thank you for the questions and the opportunity here.